Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman. And I know I'm starting a little bit early, but YouTube has been driving me a little crazy today. And so I thought I would start a few minutes early on TikTok to just kind of make sure everything is working right. So I'm going to wait for people to kind of jump on and let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. It has been a little bit crazy on TikTok. I'm sorry, on YouTube today. And then I'll start TikTok in just a minute once we kind of get a few people on and kind of see how everything is going. Um, just don't like having technical issues. Like technical issues are not good. And of course, we've got Mercury in retrograde. So that kind of just helps everything go a little wonky, wonky, wonky. I know. So it looks like everything on YouTube is on. So I'm going to start live on TikTok. Hi, everyone on TikTok. I'm also live on YouTube and I'm excited to be with you. We're going to be talking about like the energy of today. Just the energy of today is going to be amazing. But the other thing we're going to be doing is angel card readings. Now, I normally do a different deck, but this is the deck that keeps calling me today and kind of just like, this is the deck I've got to use because there's some questions that are going to come through today that are going to be perfect for this deck. So this is like, yay, one of my second favorite deck. We'll put it that way. So we've got live on YouTube and TikTok. So I'm excited to be with you. Let's talk a little bit about just today's energy. So today's energy, November 7th, has a lot of amazing energy packed in it. One of them is Mercury in Sagittarius literally went into retrograde, depending on where you are in the world, either last night or this morning. And so we've got Mercury in retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius, like right now. And it really kind of infuses us with like this curiosity, this optimism, which is making kind of like everything since the presidential elections and stuff like that kind of feel not so bad or not so crazy right now. So that helps a little bit. And also, it also is bringing in a lot of energy about like what's coming up next, like where are we going next. Anybody who's joining on, if you want me to do an angel card reading, let me know. I will pull an angel card for you. If not, I'm going to be talking about today's energy. Today's energy has a lot of good stuff. And literally because November has such amazing energy, we've got our 11/11 portal coming up next Monday. Today is November, our 11/7. So 7 energy is all about like very easygoing, very lighthearted, very like kind of this amazing energy, kind of like there are actually many, many energy portals in each month. And today happens to be one of them. So November 7th is one of them. And then we've got a huge one, like the major one is November 11th. But we also have November 17th. We also have, I'm trying to think, the 17th, the 19th, the 22nd. So there's lots of them coming in. So it's not just like 11/11 is the only one. It's the major one, but it's not the only one that we've got major energy coming in at. So that's kind of like, yes, a major energy coming in. But kind of like the energy of Mercury in retrograde is all about like shifting our focus on instead of fixing everybody else, because everybody who comes to me goes, oh, can you fix my husband, my wife, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my blah blah blah, my mom, my dad, whatever it is. And you can't really fix anybody else. You can fix you or change how you react to them, and it makes them change. So it's kind of like that's the only way you can really make them change is change how you react to them. I know that sounds, a lot of people are like, well, it'd be easier for them to fix it. You think that way because it's one of those, most of us don't want to fix us. It's one of those, like, that is a really, really complicated, hard job. Like, don't want to deal with it. Yeah, that's most of us. And so it's kind of like, we don't want to deal with that part. We want to deal with the easy part. But because we've got Mercury in Sagittarius, we also have Mars in Sagittarius, which is all about like being bold. Mars is about action and movement and like changing things and that sort of thing. And then Sagittarius kind of adds this like fearless adventure energy to it. Like, let's explore this. Let's look into this. Let's change this. Hi, Miss Kathy. It's kind of like this really amazing energy. Now, when we combine like Mars in Sagittarius with Mercury in Sagittarius, this alignment really brings in a lot of comfort, a lot of expression of like our ideas and our thoughts, or how are we going to do this, or how are we going to change that. That kind of comes in with some amazing energy as well. And then it also kind of really encourages us to step out in like our changes and what do we want to change or modify or fix or do differently. And that's kind of a really great way to kind of like add to that energy. Like, how do you want to change you? How do you want to change you? Now, we also have our moon right now today on the 7th. Our moon is in the sign of Aries, and that's kind of adding like this extra layer of desire energy or passion energy to what's going on. And that's going to also bring us that little bit of assertive energy of like, what do we want to do differently? How do we want to do this? How do we want to make changes? And kind of that kind of, I want to do this, I want to do that. I will tell you that's kind of, the energy of things. Like, how do we want to change? How do we want to make changes in our lives? Or like right now, are you willing to change? And I often think of that kind of really related to our 1111 energy portal in next Monday, is because it's like the universe could put everything in order. You could win a bazillion dollars. You could do this. You could get a free house. You could marry the person of your dreams. You could do all of these amazing things. But if you're not willing to walk in that energy, if you're not willing to change something and move through that energy to get it, it's going to disappear. But that's kind of the energy that most people want. It's like, I want, like Santa Claus, I want you to get my ideas. I want you to bring them into fruition. And then I want you to hand them to me completely already done. I want you to hand them to me like, here on a silver platter, like exactly what I wanted. It doesn't work that way. And because you have to put something into it. If it's not your dream. You have to really think about that. Like, if you're not putting anything into it, how can it be your dream? You're just going to be like, oh, this is the way it goes. Because we're also building towards that 1111 energy portal. So think about that amazing energy. Like, how are we going to connect to that amazing energy on the 11th? Now, a lot of times, one of the ways to do that is kind of like doing the groundwork ahead of time. And that means getting like prepared for it now, not waiting until like Monday and going like, okay, now what I need to do. One of the things is doing the groundwork, kind of like doing those stuff ahead of time. What are your dreams? What are the dreams that you want to put into play? What is it? And get really, really clear. Then it's one of those kind of like, get that in front of you. If that's a picture or an idea or something like that. Now, a lot of people, my classes always laugh at me because I always tell them I am like the stick person drawer of the world. I love that. So it's one of those like, draw it, even if it's you and you can only do stick people like me, like that's okay. If you're an artist, that is phenomenal. Do it, do the art. But it's one of those, get into that amazing energy of connecting to the day. So what is it that you really desire to connect into, and bringing that in now? Don't wait. It's one of those, start thinking about like, how would it feel to have that item? Like if it's a car, like how is it going to feel to drive this energy? How is it going to smell in the car? That beautiful leather smell. How is it going to feel, that car? How is it going to handle? How is it going to do that kind of stuff? And the more you bring like your energy into it, like how does it look? How does it feel? How does it connect to you? That's the part that's going to be amazing. That's the part that's going to be like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted to bring forward. I am talking about manifesting, especially starting today, getting ready for our 1111 energy portal. So the more you bring your energy to what you're trying to connect into, the better off you're going to be. So the more you kind of bring in that energy, how are you going to connect to it? And literally take like several minutes, several times a day, and literally feel what it feels like. If it's like, what do you want to bring forward, or how do you want this to happen, or whatever else, like finding that you're one person, or starting a new relationship, or getting a car, or a new job, or whatever that is for you, think about, how is it going to feel? How is it going to smell? It's one of those, what is the building going to smell like? What are the other people around you? How are they going to connect with you? How are you going to connect with them? It's one of those, all of those things. I had a client today was talking to me, like she is so excited. She's 16 years old and she's getting a job at Starbucks. And she was like, I can't wait to walk into Starbucks and know that I'm going to learn how to make a great cup of coffee. I'm going to learn how to make this, or I'm going to learn how to make this kind of drink or whatever else. And she was like, just the smell and the sights and the sound. That's what I'm talking about. Like the, ooh, yes, that's exactly what I want. The more you connect into that, the better off you're going to be. That is the cool part. So connect to that energy right here, right now. That's like, yes, yes, yes. Let's bring that in. And that's kind of building us towards. So even starting here today on the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, it's all going to be in there. Now, on the 11th, one of the things that you could really, really do is you could connect to our 1111 energy portal. So how many 1111s do we have? Okay, we're going to count. So we would have November, that's an 11. The 11th of November, that's an 11. Then we have 11 a.m., right? We have 11 o'clock. And then we have 11 o'clock and 11 minutes after 11. So we have 11:11. That's like 4 11s. Okay. And bringing that energy, thinking about it, bringing it to you. And it's kind of like, here, I'm moving forward and it's coming at me kind of as I'm walking towards it. That's the cool part. So that's kind of the energy of this, is kind of feel that energy connecting with you. And then go through the ideas of how does, like, all your sensations, like, I was saying that you've seen a lot of angel numbers. I've been seeing a lot of angel numbers, but one of the angel numbers that I see most of all, and I've seen it on and off in the past, but I will say probably the one that I've been seeing the most lately is 555. I know, I was like, interesting. Fives are all about like amping up your energy and connecting into things. So, Acacia, I'm going to say it that way. Acacia, what angel number have you been seeing? If you've been seeing 11s, it's like it is your time to get into this amazing energy. If you've seen anything with 11s or 8s connected to it, like, you have got to get into the 1111 energy portal now. And a lot of people think that like the 1111 energy portal kind of just like comes on that day, goes over and down. No, 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 no. It literally joins up. About change, 555. That's what I keep seeing. And I've been seeing like change and amping up my energy to kind of balance that change. Like, what do you want compared to what are you going, and kind of bringing in that change. I've been seeing that one a lot. Now, mostly I've been seeing the 555. I have seen a couple of 8s. Ones are all about like the doorway. Think of it as a doorway, walking into it. 12s are really an interesting energy. I'm trying to think of like, what are 12s? When you see 1212. Let's see. Okay, 12s are all about completions. Now, next year, we're going to have a whole year of completions, but 12s are all about like letting something go. And it's, a lot of people think of letting something go as something bad. It's not. It's one of those, for you to move forward in your life, you have to close chapters. When you left 5th grade, you closed the chapter on elementary school and you opened your chapter on middle school. And then when you left middle school, you closed the chapter on middle school and you open the chapter of high school. So all change is not bad. A lot of people are like, oh, it's horrible. No, it's not. It just means that you're ready for the next steps. You're ready for the amazing energy that's coming in next. Now, I will say kind of the 3s are kind of like one of my favorite numbers. I see 3 a lot myself, and that's all about creativity. That's kind of my thing. I love kind of the creativity of things. I love creating energy. I love connecting to created energy. I'm just one of those people, like, I didn't think I cared about creations or kind of like making things new, but it's one of the best creations that you will ever make is when you start a business. It's kind of like you get to dictate when you work, how you work, where you work, what do you do, how do you not do this, all of that kind of stuff. And that's the really fun part. I literally was talking to one of my assistants right before I got on, and she was like, you're like the best boss. And I was like, because I love my business and I love how I bring this all together. Energetic creations are all about like physical, like bringing them in, but you need to feel them first. And a lot of times people don't realize it, but like kind of the best thing that you can ever understand about bringing in something new and exciting in your life is your words are the most powerful thing that you can bring in. So many times people are like, and I was like, your words can bring in things so powerful, so amazing to you. And I think a lot of people don't get it. They really don't get it. They kind of think like, oh, it's not a big deal. I was like, if you really think about it, creator energy spoke our world into creation with his words. And if he's in us, he's our father, so he's in us. Doesn't that mean that we can do the same thing? We just have to say the same words. We have to kind of have that commanding voice of like, what are we commanding to bring into us? What are we commanding to bring around us? And a lot of that has to do with like, what do you want? So many times, I always think like people are like squirrels. They're like, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then they go, squirrel. No, I don't want that. I want this. And then people are going like, I'm not getting it. Well, because you keep changing your mind. Okay, so let's see. So can you take a minute and tell me about your background, if you don't mind? What are your main beliefs? So I think what you're asking is, I was raised Catholic. I don't really follow a religion now. I will just tell you that. I believe in creator energy. I believe in a creator of our universe. And I believe that it's not male or female. That's why I call it creator, not anything else. Source, whatever you want to call it. I just like the word creator. You can call, I always tell people, you can call him anything you want. Just don't call him late for dinner. You can call him whatever he wants. It's like, it's not a problem. But I believe in connecting to that energy and bring in amazing energy for ourselves. And the more we connect to creator energy, the faster we create. And anything that the creator would say is something that is like the right way to say things. Does that make sense? Like kind of like the right way. Okay, Michelle, I think I remember you. I had a lot of clients, but the best way to schedule an appointment is either to email me or go to my website. That's kind of the best way to do it. My email address is Ruth at ruththeresa.com, and it's THERESA. I know it sounds weird. Or you can just call me if you've got my numbers, or look them up. You just call me and we can schedule something. It's one of those, usually I'm scheduling about 2 to 3 days out. So just so you know, it doesn't take much to schedule someone with me. That's kind of the fun part. But I love doing readings with people. I love kind of getting people that energy. Okay. Shara is asking, will Quinell? I'm going to pronounce it Quinell. Reply to my text. Now, I get a no. I'm going to pull an angel card. And my angel card is the hearth, and it's Vesta. Kind of the astrological sign is Vesta. But one of the things I get is like his heart is in it, but not 100% of the time. It's like they're not really, he's connecting to you, but not all the time. There's something else that's distracting his heart. Okay, have you ever experienced astral projection or travel? All the freaking time. All the time. I astral project. If I sit down for a few minutes, I can be astral projecting. I can connect to, you're very welcome, Shari. That's beautiful. Shari. You can astral project pretty easy. I learned early how to connect with it and how to kind of like control where I'm going. Now, a lot of people, the best way to describe it when I teach it in one of my classes, so people understand what I'm talking about, is it feels like you wake up and your whole body's in peanut butter, like meaning like you can barely move. Like if you're using all of your might to just kind of like connect to it. Now, when you're visualizing things, because I've been working on this for a long time, one of the things is just in astral projection, I can see things, feel things, ground in my astral projection. I can change energy, modify energy. I can go on planet, off planet, other planets, other solar systems. So I'm kind of good at it. Like I'm not tooting my own horn, but maybe I am a little bit. Like, astral projection is all about controlling what's going on or seeing things. I kind of even almost like go astral projection when I look into past lives. Like, I can literally connect to someone's past life and see what they're talking about. That's kind of one of those crazy kind of abilities kind of things. So I kind of like love that part. We recently had a baby. So Michelle's saying, recently had a baby after 5 years of infertility. My son is able to recognize his grandpa. It's one of those, kind of the interesting part is I have a grandson who is almost a year and a half. He's like I was it like 16 months old, something like that. And one of the things that's really interesting is we have been talking, I have been communicating with him telepathically since he was 4 months in Yurdo. Like, literally, my daughter-in-law is pregnant with him, and I'm able to completely have conversations with him. Now, granted, it's not like complete words, but it's feelings and thoughts. Sai is saying it has been astral projection is usually a gift that people have naturally. So it's a gift that a lot of people, not that they can't come up or change on its own. Some people have it and it doesn't bother them. Usually when it bothers them, that's when they realize, like, oh my gosh, I woke up and I couldn't yell or scream or move or whatever else. That's astral projection as well, but you're fighting it. You're like fighting what's going on instead of connecting into that amazing energy or connecting to what's going on around you. So that's kind of the interesting part. Usually when people kind of sleep paralysis, it's not really like in the human world, we're going to say sleep paralysis, but literally that gift is astral projection. That's astral projection. That's what it is. You wake up. I've had people say, I feel like there's someone at the end of my bed. I feel like there's someone holding me down. I feel like I can't move or scream, or if I move, it's like so heavy, kind of like literally like a vat of peanut butter. Like, you're like, I can move, but it's like barely, like I'm using all my energy or strength. And a lot of times when people experience this as a kid, they still have this on board. They still can connect with it, but usually they turn it off going like, this was scary and I didn't know how to fix it or change it or whatever else. And then it takes a little bit of time. Probably the best way to amp it up again is to meditate. Is the best way to do it. Doing a great meditation before you go to sleep to kind of get you in that area. And then when it does, make sure that you are enjoying it. You're not fighting it anymore, or kind of afraid of it in some way. Kathy on YouTube is saying, like, that's really interesting. I felt that way for a long time. Usually most people have these astral projection or sleep paralysis and they don't know what they are. So Asai is saying, what are your thoughts on reality shifting? I think reality shifting is really fun. I kind of do it from time to time. I don't do it as often as I could or should, kind of thing, but it just depends on where you want to go or what you want to change. Now, sometimes reality shifting to me can be going into past lives, because going back to see a past life can change how I'm thinking about what's going on currently. But you can also reality shift or change dimensions. And that really kind of changes how you're dealing with things or how you're working through things. It doesn't mean that it's good or bad. Yeah, she had a mini shift. I will say, as we get closer between now, like the 7th and the 11/11 energy, most people are going to have a psychic download, and that can also kind of kick into like reality shifts and that sort of thing, especially if they believe it. If they walk around and going like, I can't believe, it's going to turn off. Even it's like you're already not believing it, so it's going to turn itself off. So when you connect into it, you want to make sure that, like, wow, this is amazing. I'm so loving this energy. Is it one of those things that people make up until you really experience it? I think some people really do make up like astral projection. They really do make up like shift changing. I had someone tell me one time that they were on dimension number 82 or something like that. I was like, yeah, right. I was like, there's no way with your energy that you're even close to that number. But I think that's kind of one of those interesting ones. It's just like anything else. People are going to tell you that they're better at something than they really are. They're going to, oh yeah, like I have this multi-million-dollar mansion. You don't know. You've never been to my house. You don't know what my house looks like. So that's kind of the crazy part. A lot of people go, oh, this is the way it's going to happen or change, and like they kind of like misunderstand it. Like they misunderstand the information, and they're like, oh, I'm this way. um I think when politicians talk about like shifting energy or upgrading energy, I'm like, dude, you don't even know what that means. Like you're talking, you have no idea, you have no freaking clue. Nor could you even try to balance your chakras at the same time. Like you have no clue. A lot of times people say it because they're like buzzwords, but that doesn't mean they know what they're talking about. They're just saying the words because they've heard it from someone else, but they have no idea what it means or how to connect in. One of the other ones I will say that is kind of a very interesting one. Okay, what is it? Okay. Oh, Acacia, anytime. I loved it. I loved it. Y'all have a great night. One of the other planets that are going to be really affecting us later on in November, on November 17th, we have Pluto moving out of the sign of Capricorn and moving into the sign of Aquarius. That is going to be one of the biggest shifts that we are going to see over the next 20 years or so. And it literally happens on the 19th. So it's kind of like almost like, how can I change? How can I explain this? This is like 4th of July, New Year's celebration. This is kind of like all of it. Thank you, Akasha. You're amazing. I think this is a really interesting one. And this is going to be a very amazing energy. Now, because Pluto has been in the sign of Capricorn since 2008, we're still kind of finishing off some of that. So we're kind of dealing with some of that old energy. But kind of the cool part is on the 19th, we move into permanently into the sign of Aquarius for the next 22 years, 23 years, something like that. It's quite a long time. So that's kind of the interesting energy with it. But that's kind of the cool part is that we have this amazing energy coming in. And this amazing energy is going to kind of push us to make changes, transformation, encouraging us to kind of look at things differently than we have in the past. And this means for everybody. It's like no one's exempt from this. Some people may kind of sit with their behind in the mud for a little bit, but eventually they're going to get up there. Eventually they're going to kind of connect with that energy. Some, like I said, there's some people that are running at it and some people are walking at it. And then other people are like, I'm not sure I want to change. That's okay. Eventually you're going to get into this energy as well, because the whole planet's changing energy. It's not just some of us, it's all of us. It's going to be thinking. And I will say kind of the best ways to kind of like tips for just today is act on your goals. What do you want to bring into your life? How do you want to kind of like inspire changes in your life? That's a great way to look at it. Communicate with purpose. As creator energy communicates, it's always with a purpose and with the clarity, not like, oh, let me say something, and then you're kind of going like, what? How do I, like, I don't understand what you're talking about. They want to communicate clearly. Stay open to new ideas, jot them down or write them down and kind of keep them in your mind. Like, this thought came through yesterday and I'm really thinking about this, and how can I change this or modify this or make things a little bit differently? That's kind of the interesting. Also kind of like embrace something that's new or adventurous. If someone says, literally, I had a friend call me a couple of days ago and said, let's go to the store. It just opened up. And I'm like, okay, I've got 2 hours. Let's go. We had a great afternoon. We had a great time and just enjoyed ourselves. And that's kind of leaving yourself open to the adventure of things and kind of like what's coming up next and kind of like, how are we going to change things? That's going to be bringing in that amazing energy. Now, one of the things that's coming in with our 1111 energy portal is we have this kind of like really availability of connecting to kind of like all of the great things in the world, like great things in the universe. People starting new businesses, people getting in great relationships that honor both sides, getting into amazing energy, and kind of like we have to prepare for that. It's not just like, oh my gosh, for anything that's positive, we really do have to make some changes. The first one is there anything that's blocking you from your creativity? Like, is there something that's kind of like, I'm not sure if I'm really open to this. I will tell you more than anything else, when I do a class on abundance, most people do not ever realize that they are blocking abundance for themselves. They'll tell me, I feel cursed. I feel like this person is blocking me from this, whatever it is. I've heard it all. My mom, my dad, my cousin, my brother, my sister, my grandparents, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, everybody is keeping me from my abundance. And the thing is, though, they can only keep you from your abundance if you allow them, because your abundance is, your abundance. So if you're allowing them to come in and take that away from you, then of course they're going to take it. Of course they are. Like, who wouldn't? It's one of those, it's like leaving $100 bill on the floor and going like, don't touch it. I'll get it tomorrow. I'll get it next week. They're going to pick it up. So it's like connecting to that energy. You've got to be prepared, and preparing for it is being ready to take that in. What is blocking you? And I will tell you, kind of the best way to start with that is, what do you feel when you see money? What is it that you feel when you see money? So many times people are like, oh, I'm so excited about it. And I'm like, really? Because a lot of times when we first started dealing with money and we picked it up as a child, we tried to put it in our mouth. We tried to do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. And our parents usually said things like, money's dirty. So if money's dirty, why do we want it? Why do we want something that's dirty? If someone handed you a dirty, stinky shirt, you'd be like, no, thank you. I don't want that. It's dirty. Why do you want something that's dirty? Think about it. It's like, okay, interesting. It's one of those. The other one I hear a lot with people is people tell me that, people that drive like Mercedes-Benz or BMWs or whatever, Lexus or whatever it is, like they're so horrible, and they drive like an a-hole kind of thing, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, but you want that. So you're saying that that person who drives that vehicle is a bad person or doesn't treat other people fairly, but you want that. Really? That's your thing that you have to get rid of. Because when you believe like everybody who has this or has this status, if you live in a this size house or bigger, then you're super wealthy. And I had a client tell me that like all wealthy people are not nice. Then why do you want to be wealthy? People that are wealthy, you just said, are not nice. So why do you want that? They're not nice. Why do you want it? That's kind of the crazy part. Or people that are wealthy are mean, or they don't pay their fair share, or they don't do this, or they don't do that. Like whatever it is, they stole my parking space, whatever it is. So you're saying you want to be one of those people, but you don't want that, but you want their money. You can't have it both ways. If you were kind of denying them like the energy of like, they're just normal people. We just think it's weird. We just think it's odd. It's one of those like, they drive crazy. Okay, they drive crazy. I always think of them driving out of my way. Yes, you can drive crazy right out of my way. That's a fun part about it. But it's one of those when you go like everybody who drives X car or this type of car or whatever it is, they're bad. And then you want that kind of car? Okay. Now you have to be bad to get that car because that's what you believe. You believe you have to be a bad person to drive that type of car. Or I had one not too long ago that someone said, I don't know why, but I always get cut off by people that drive BMW. So I don't want a BMW. And then like an hour later at the end of her session, she was like, I really do want to get a new BMW. You just said BMW drivers always cut you off, which is not a fun thing to have to happen to you. So why are you saying you want it? Why are you wanting something that you don't like? It's your energy. You have to shift and change that thinking so you can bring in the abundance. That's kind of the cool part about it. So one of the things we're going to talk, it's already almost time to finish. Do y'all have any questions? Y'all want some angel cards? Angel cards. So Michelle is asking, do you do fertility readings? I just do readings. Fertility questions are just along with part of it. I wanted to know if we will have another baby due. I I feel like you will. I feel like there will be another baby coming, but just like I was talking about, like the abundance of things coming, energy coming in, if you're believing that you are infertile, how can you have a baby? You have to believe that you are fertile. And you want to think of conceiving the baby, carrying the baby. Think about like everybody who's pregnant always rubs their stomach. So think about like rubbing your tummy and feeling that baby moving inside of you. Think about going through the delivery with ease. Think about like holding the baby, because it's not just getting pregnant with the baby. It's all the parts of that, all of that energy that you want to bring in. And this is a great time to prepare for the 1111 energy, and that can bring you in a new dose. So anytime that you say I have been infertile, I'm saying, even saying it's in the past, you're allowing that energy to come in. Say, I am as fertile as I choose to be. I love when I am able to conceive with ease. I love when I am able to carry my baby to full term with no problems or issues, with lots of love and caring for the baby. I will enjoy going through childbirth and bringing this child into the world and loving this child and honoring this child for who they are, and blah, blah, blah. It's not just a one time like, oh, we're pregnant. We want to carry that baby for 9 months in there, safe, secure, and happy. We want to deliver that baby into a world that loves them with people around them. So when you kind of keep talking about like the energy of it, but every time, I guarantee you, anytime I deal with people that have, I'll pull your card in just a second, Kathy. Whenever I'm dealing with people that have infertility issues, they will say that over and over and over again. That word, Michelle, I'm going to tell you from now on, you are never, ever allowed to say that word again, ever. Infertility is a word you are never allowed to say again, ever. Like literally cut that out of your vocabulary and throw that word away. It's not allowed, because every time you say it, you're literally telling your body that I don't want to have a baby. And then you're oppositely telling your baby, your body, that you do. So your body's going, you want this or you want that? You want peanut butter or you want a sandwich? You want this or you want that? I don't know what you want, because you keep saying you're infertile, but then you want a baby. That doesn't make any sense to me. So telling your body, I am so fertile that I get pregnant with ease, and I carry this baby with honor and love and all that kind of stuff. And I get to rub my belly and play with that baby while I'm still carrying the baby. I get to rub lotion on my belly. I get to do all those fun things. And then I get to literally deliver that baby into this world with ease and caring. That's what you want to say. Words that are not good, cut them out, leave them alone. Okay, Miss Kathy, your angel card reading for tonight it's upside down. It's upside down. This is all about tension. And I feel like there's some tension in your life, Kathy, that you're not really honoring in some ways. So there's some tension that you're kind of like, I really want this in my life. And it could be the same thing, that you're asking for this, but you're allowing this. Kind of like there's an inconsistency with your words. So just know that there's an inconsistency in there. So when you ask for something and then you say the opposite, and I know you're not asking for infertility or whatever else, but whatever it is, if you're like, I want this person's attention, and I don't know why this is coming up to my brain, but they're like, if you want this person's attention, but then you're saying, I never get someone to have interest in me, then you're oppositely asking for things. So it's kind of like, clear your words. Any words that are not consistent with what you want, literally cut them out and start over again. You want to cut out those words and say, I'm not using those words anymore. I'm only using words that I draw people to me that have amazing energy, that have amazing insights into the world, that love something that I love. We have things in common. We love doing things together. And I literally asked for a friend a couple of weeks ago, because I was like, I want a friend that wants to do something like with me. And I literally had a friend that I met at the nail salon, and now we go every like 3 weeks and have our toes done at the same time. We get to chit chat. So that's kind of a fun one. Like, I literally asked for this person, and then like 2 weeks later, I was at the nail salon and there they were, and I got to chit chat with her, and we have the same schedule. So that's kind of really cool that we're there at the same time. We can kind of catch up and talk about things. I didn't want a full-time friend. I got lots of full-time friends. I just wanted someone to chat with while I had my toes done. Kind of fun things. That's kind of the interesting part. But your words have to be consistent with what you're asking. Your words have to be consistent with what you're asking. That's kind of the important part of this. That is the amazing part for you. So make sure that you are making this connection, not only with yourself, your higher power, your creator energy, whatever you want to call that, making your words consistent with what you desire or require in your life. I thank you guys so much. I will see y'all hopefully next week on the 14th. But I've also got a lot of things. I'm kind of doing a lot of things on TikTok. I've got a lot of videos coming out. And then I've also got some amazing energy coming out about like your eye color. I know eye color can tell you so much about people's personality. That's kind of a fun one. And then we'll be talking about planetary energies. Like I said, Mercury went into retrograde in the last 24 hours. So that's kind of like a fun, crazy energy. I love Mercury in retrograde because it just kind of makes things exciting. So you always have like some weird things going on. Literally, one of the programs that I use all the time, my assistants were not even able to like log in for like 4 hours. So I just laughed. You're very welcome, Kathy. Thank you. I'm going this weekend to the Renfest. So I'm hoping for some amazing weather and some amazing gifts. I love looking at all the vendors and what they have, and I love walking around. That's kind of one of my things where I love to go kind of see all the trinkets and beads and see what everybody has. Even if I would not normally buy anything out of the shop, I still have to go walk in there. So we literally walk through every shop in the Renfest. I guarantee there's not many shops that I've not been in. So that's kind of one of my fun things. I thank y'all so much. I will be on YouTube and TikTok in 2 weeks. Next week, I will be on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you guys. Y'all have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.